Come on, Kenny. This guy's gonna have an exorcism. Like, jeez.
Welcome back to another episode of Two Joes and a Pro. Oh man, that's me. That means it's
Oh,
time to go.
you gotta take your birth control.
Welcome back to another episode of Two Joes and a Pro. As always, you got your guys Kenny, Ryan, and Brian. This is gonna be an exciting episode.
Yeah, because Kenny's gonna say some dumb shit.
Yeah, okay. I've been waiting for this episode for the last 72 hours. My skin is boiling. It's boiling so much. I even got myself a saucer so I can just cool off. That's how teed up I am. Anyway, let me ask my guys how y'all doing today.
I'm great.
Brian's watching some soccer. He has some money out there. U.S. women's soccer playing Netherlands right now. He's like, oh,
USA, baby. Let's go.
they up the boost. I gotta bet it.
Mm-hmm.
At least that one you can at least rely on. It's
Rely
not
on
like
who?
the men's out there. Well, the men's is a bad team. At least the women's are a good
The women's
team.
are not really good this year.
Well,
They're
USA's
decent.
down 1-0. Thanks
I'm
for
about to
that,
say.
Ryan.
I'm about to say they're not
Too
really
relaxed. They got it.
okay.
Bro. Jesus.
That's what you get, bro.
That was a weak-ass goal, too, man.
How you mad? I don't have really too much going on the college front. For basketball, the only thing I'm really curious on, I know Jaylen Brown, he had his offer for $306 million, right? Or
304.
$304 million, and I saw that. So he finally signed that today. 5-year deal. I'm curious on Brian's thoughts on that because I know Jason Tatum is up for his 309, I believe it'll be next year. So
It's going to be crazy.
it's a lot of money on one team, right? And I just think it's wild that Jaylen Brown is the highest paid player in the NBA right now.
I mean, that's just more about timing. That's all.
I do understand the timing, but still, $304 million.
I mean,
Like,
he's one of the
golly.
top players in the league.
Okay.
He's, at least a top 20.
Yeah, top 20, but if you look at the people that's
a
ahead of him.
Supermax player then.
Okay.
I mean, that most teams carry 2, sometimes 3.
All right.
I'm just saying that's just the nature of the NBA.
Okay.
You know, if I was a GM, or if I was, no, not even a GM, because I'd have to go along with it if I was a GM because I want to win. But I would want to only pay one guy, and then, spread the money out the rest of the way. But the players have so much control in that league. It's crazy.
You know what's pissed me off? Side note, since you're talking about betting, why are the Red Sox showing up today? Like the Braves is winning the whole time. 7th inning, Red Sox. Yeah, they were. They were up 3-1.
They went 3-0, and then the Red Sox hit 2 home runs in the next inning.
No, they didn't. What game are you talking about? The 6th inning, they were up 3-1, and then the bottom of the 7th, the Red Sox hit 3 runs. What are you talking about?
I mean,
Anyway,
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Cassis hit a home run the same inning as Devers.
okay. Anyway,
But you do you, Kenny.
they scored 3 runs. They were up. They were down 3-1 going to the 7th.
Yeah, you're right. Whatever. I mean, listen, the Red Sox can always hit. And they had a good pitcher going tonight, Brian Bayo. I mean, besides that one home run he gave up, he had a great night. What do you want from me?
I don't know, man. I
don't want anything from you. You're not a part of the team.
No, I'm not. I'm not a Red.
I want them to chill the fuck out.
No, I'm telling you, you do not. The Red Sox are so unpredictable. Don't bet against them and don't bet for them. Just bet over.
Yeah, my parlay right now was actually pretty smooth too. Everybody, I got 2 hits so far. I needed the Yankees are up. I needed Atlanta to do their thing, and then all I had was the Athletics and Giants going over 8.5. Come on. You like how you like how I'm doing better segues? I like segued right into
look
baseball.
at that, right into
Didn't
baseball.
even say Brian baseball. I just went right to it.
Bro, I'm telling you what, man.
It's better when you identify that you did a segue like that.
Yeah. Because now I know. Like, I didn't know.
He didn't know. Brian's
I had no idea,
expecting to go back to basketball.
No, you didn't like.
He's like, yeah. So Tatum's next. He's like,
no, I'm done with Tatum. I don't want to even talk about Jaylen Brown. Like, I don't want to give the Celtics too much shine. I want to get straight to baseball because the real important thing we came to talk about is coming up in a little bit, so I want to get us out the way.
MLB trade deadline is coming up August 1st, 4 p.m. Eastern time. That is the excitement in baseball. That's when you really will find out who the true contenders are this year, because they will be the ones trading for players. You got these middling teams like the Red Sox, maybe even the Yankees.
Yeah, well, we're not even.
They're probably going to be selling pieces to. Dude, realistically, they don't have a chance to win this year. Okay. So they need to sell.
We never, but like, I know that is true.
Never sell.
But when are they going to ever sell? They're like, oh, we can just buy our way. Like they don't never sell.
I know, but they should be. If I was the Yankees GM, I'd sell this year and look forward to next year. But I just think they buried themselves too deep. No, they probably will buy. But anyways, Orioles still controlling the AL East. One team that's been playing better is Toronto. They've been making a little push. They're only 5.5 back from the Orioles, so perhaps they'll be in the mix come playoff time. Let's see, what other teams should I talk about? We'll look at the Angels. Are they going to deal Ohtani? That's going to be a big storyline to look forward to this week. Surprisingly, though, the Angels have been playing better, and they've kind of brought themselves back a little bit. They're in the playoff hunt. So, I don't know. I think they might keep him, even though I think they should sell him because I don't think he's going to sign there. But I think they're going to keep him. And then got the Braves controlling the East and the NL. Nothing more to say there. The NL Central's between the Milwaukee and Cincinnati. Ellie De La Cruz, man, exciting player. I'm going to say it every time. And Kenny just gets mad because whenever he bets on him, he goes over.
For the fact that he hasn't been hitting lately and all he's been doing good is running damn bases.
I don't know. A couple of nights ago, he hits his ball to the wall and it gets caught. So it would have been a home run, but the guy caught it. His next at bat, he crushed it 460 feet.
So what was the purpose of saying that?
That's just the type of player he is, man. He's going to come up and he's going to get his.
Bro, before, like, since the break, he was batting so bad that they put him on the bench. What are you talking about? Yes. Trust me.
For one game? Like,
relax. No. He was on the bench for 4 games.
Okay.
Anyways. He was on the bench because they said he was struggling really bad. Okay. So they put him on the bench for 4 games.
That's what you do in baseball.
So what are you talking about? He get his. Obviously, he doesn't get his because he was on the bench. He wasn't getting shit, but getting struck out.
All right, look what he's been doing in the last couple of games, man. He's been hitting.
He's getting back into his stride. He's getting his.
He is. He's getting.
Ryan, he said he hit a ball and it got caught at the warning track, but then the next plate he hit it out of the park. He get his. What? It's baseball. You know how many times people hit deep flies and they get caught? All the time.
All right.
Anyways,
I'm just saying. I'm just trying to say he's an electric player, and you guys need to be watching him. Like
he get his.
Yeah. Watch him.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right, man.
Okay.
That's cool. You guys don't want to get
excited. Are we moving on?
Young players.
Is that where's this transition at, Kenny?
I know.
I'm
focused on him getting his.
All right, well, whatever. Yeah, that's enough about baseball right now. I'll have more news next week as far as trades go down. There's a couple small deals that have happened already, but unless you're like a baseball junkie, you don't care about these names so far. So I'll do a whole list next week. Real quick, hockey. Patrice Bergeron retired. He announced his retirement.
Oh, damn.
Listen, I'm only mentioning him because he's arguably one of the greatest centers to ever play. Okay. Anyways.
Oh my god.
So he retired, and then a big name, Sebastian Aho, signed an 8-year deal with Carolina. He's staying there, $78 million for 8 years.
Yo, that's funny. I said, damn. Oh, I was hoping he was going to stay.
Yeah, I really wanted him to stay a couple extra years.
That's what I get for laughing. The Red Sox hit another home run. They hit another homer. That's what I get for laughing.
Yeah.
Are we done? Are we going to football? Are we doing this?
I don't know. Where's the transition, Kenny?
So the transition before I'm gonna put a little bit in there. So this weekend, before we get to football, because then we're gonna go off. Before we get to football, this weekend is going to be probably I would say, you know how like you had like Muhammad Ali and George Foreman and Sugar Ray and Marvin Hagler, like those type of fights, like Lifetime must watch ESPN classic fights. That's what you're about to have this weekend.
Is Logan Paul fighting?
No.
I'm just playing.
So Earl Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford are fighting for the what is it called? It's Unified.
Where are they fighting?
When you put all the contracts, put all the belts together, that's Unified.
Is it in Vegas?
Oh no, Undisputed welterweight championship. Oh yeah, it's in Vegas.
Oh, I thought it was like going to be like a clever little like Rumble in the Jungle.
No. Like so it's gonna be the first time the welterweight has all been unified or the undisputed belt. And I don't know. I think it's like 10, 15 years, something like that.
So where are we watching?
I'm gonna. What is it called when you piracy?
Oh my goodness! Arrest this man! What? Come on, man!
I was saying,
let's go to Brian's house.
Send me the link.
We'll go to Brian's house. We'll pay for it. Split it 3 ways.
All right, cool.
How much is it?
Probably
it might be $100.
I don't understand how they get away with charging $100. Like it's every single week. I was talking to my wife about this one night because they showed UFC one night a couple of weeks ago. It was free because the card was so bad, and they just gave it for free that week.
Yeah,
to try to entice people to watch and stuff and get into it. But I was telling my wife, I was like, I couldn't imagine like spending $100 every week if I was like a super into like UFC. Like I don't know how those fans do it.
I did it for the beginning of the year. I did like 4 or 5 matches, like Adesanya. I did with Bo Jones. I did with Leon Edwards and I'm going blank. Leon Edwards, and then I did it with Amanda Nunes. I looked at my Xfinity bill and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man, it's
because
crazy.
you know how they're like, oh, we'll put it on your next bill. But I watched it like back-to-back weeks. I had an Xfinity bill. It was like $600. I was like, what the hell? I'm like, what happened? I thought I paid this. It was crazy. $89, dog.
You'd be like, I'd be remiss if I didn't throw Casey's comment up there. He appreciates the hockey talk, Brian.
Yeah, well, at least somebody does. You know, these jokers, they just want to laugh about one of the greatest players ever played. Yeah. So it is what it is. You know.
No, but that's going to be a good match. They're both undefeated.
Good transition, Kenny. Good transition.
They're both let's get back to the real talk. They're both undefeated. It should be a good one. They both knockouts, have high knockouts. They're both strong.
You know what that means,
great
right?
Fighters.
So. It's going to be garbage.
It's going to be like a 10-second knockout.
That's what I hate about boxing.
I hope it's not. I don't think it's going to be because that's not really their pedigree. Like they normally like fight for like all the rounds, right? So they normally knock other people out. So it's going to be difficult if they both one of them knock each other out, like boom, out. I'm going to be pretty mad at that point. But I don't think that's going to happen. Either way, that was my little segment. The British Open was this weekend. Harman won. Congrats to him. I didn't touch the Wimbledon. Doesn't matter. Djokovic didn't win, so let's go to football.
All right. I've been waiting to talk about this all week. Saquon is at training camp. All teams are at training camp right now, as of right now. Saquon showed up. He held out and was like, he went on a podcast the day after they didn't get a deal done at the deadline and was like, I might just hold out all year. And the Giants were like, hold up. We'll give you $900,000. Will you come back to training camp? And he's like, yeah, I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, That's not even
He
his
doesn't wanna-
pedigree.
I
You know
know,
he was gonna do that. That's not his pedigree. He's not a
he's
bad
not
guy
gonna-
like that.
Exactly. I knew he was going to be there. He just wanted a little. They couldn't get a long-term deal. So how this works is, since he didn't get a long-term deal done by Monday, which was the deadline for him to sign his franchise tag, the deal, they can no longer negotiate a long-term contract, so a multi-year deal until the end of the season. However, the caveat is that he can sign a one-year deal. That's it. So they could have offered him, like, instead of 10.1 mil, which I think was the cap, they decided to go up to 11 mil. But that's all they decided to do. They gave him $2 million signing bonus, so they cut him a check right there for $2 million, and then he gets the rest throughout the season. Saquon signs. He's potentially happy. The only thing that I think is interesting is that he did not get reassurance or a clause in his contract that says they can't franchise tag him next year. So theoretically, the Giants can, at the end of the season, franchise tag him, because this is technically not a tag. This is a one-year contract. So they can tag him next year at like 12 mil. But I think he got some kind of verbal reassurance that he's going to get some kind of long-term deal at the end of the year. Kenny, what are your thoughts?
I don't care, bro.
You know what? The only thing he's you know what he's betting on? His only real hope is that, like, somehow the 49ers win the Super Bowl, and then running backs could say, look, the 49ers pay like $15 million a year to Christian McCaffrey, and they built their team around a running back. Because realistically, like, teams aren't going to pay running backs, because look at the last couple of years. Like, Super Bowl winning teams are not built behind running backs. Isaiah Pacheco was the number one running back for the Chiefs last year.
Yeah, but you can't, like, you can't. It's Patrick Mahomes you're talking about, right? Like,
I know you can't diminish it, but like, that's why the money's not going to them. The money is going to offensive linemen, because they protect the asset, which is the quarterback.
Yeah, they're going to their compadre in the backfield with them is the quarterback. I think it's funny because Jim Irsay is talking about, like, oh, the CBA, we came to agreement for running back. So I think it's crazy now that they're trying to talk about, they need to change and they get paid more. It's inappropriate. We came to agreement for a reason. I want to tell him, shut your ass up.
He's a drug addict anyway, so what's it matter?
That's besides the point. You're doggone, you worth how much money that might be. You're an owner, and you over here like, oh, you be quiet, agree to the deal. Like, just shut up. Because if somebody took some money out for your plate or food out of your mouth, you'll be upset. You'll be like, nah, I'm gonna get my fair shake. But now, since you're like, well, shit, it's less money I got to pay because you got to pay Jonathan Taylor coming up, and you don't want to. Now you're like, no, it's inappropriate to talk about that. Be okay with the deal. Like, no, man. I would say a word, but I got my mama watching, so I don't want to make her too mad.
Yeah. All right, what else we got? Hold up, I'm scrolling. Nyheim Hines. So training camp just opened up for the Bills. But don't worry, before training camp, Nyheim Hines gets in a jet ski accident and tears his ACL. Like, so he's out all of 2023.
Didn't he almost lose his leg?
Yeah, from a Sea-Doo. like
what the hell he was doing on a jet
Yamaha?
ski? So my thing is, I don't know. That's wild.
I mean, people are gonna live, so I mean, that's what he likes to do, apparently.
Have you not been seeing all these TikToks of people like crashing Sea-Doos and getting hurt? Like,
yeah, stop doing it. That's him.
The last thing I'm doing. What do you think? What do you think about Zeke texting Tony Pollard and say, "Hey, I wish you good luck"? is that a good luck like Hunger Games good luck, or is that a good luck like a Taken good luck?
I don't know. It might be a good luck like enjoy the workload. Yeah, you ain't gonna be able to do it. Call me halfway through the year when you need a spell.
Yeah, for 100%.
Because I don't think he's gonna be able to handle the workload. It's gonna be unless they have. Because isn't Deuce the guy that they drafted? Yeah, he's like a undersized guy. Like he's not a big dude.
Yeah, they have another guy from last year that was kind of spelling them. So kind of a bigger, kind of like not Zeke, but a broke man version of Zeke. Like he can spell them, blocking protection. Because that's the thing. Like I'm not worried about. I was having this debate too. I'm not worried about him as far as like getting his catches and touches, right? What I'm worried about him is when Zeke was in the game on a short yardage or when they had to be on the passing play, he's doing the blocking protection. Now, Tony Pollard, you have to block. And that's not your wheelhouse. So now you're not getting a chance to get that breather to come back and being that gadget player. So now how is that going to affect you? But we'll touch on that later.
Yeah. I did not know Jimmy Graham was still in the league when I saw this notification. He signed a 1-year deal with the Saints. I thought it was like a 1-day contract so he could retire. No. It's a 1-year deal with the Saints.
Who's with last year?
He's been out of the league for 2 years, I think. I don't think he's played for 2 years.
He was with the Seahawks, and I don't know what he's doing. He was with the Packers previously.
Yeah. Oh, so this is just to see if he can make the roster. This is not a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is just...
Hey, hit me up if you've heard this before, but Kadarius Toney is injured right now. he's undergoing.
He only tweaked his knee.
It's a knee tweak. I think we reported that last week that it was a knee tweak. However, this year it's just, or this week, it's just a knee scope. They're going in there, cleaning up some cartilage.
Right.
But status for week 1 is in doubt, but he might be there.
Yeah. No
Good luck.
Big deal.
He's just what a mess. All right, hold up. Brock Purdy has been cleared for training camp, which is interesting. I mean, they're going to still have him on a pitch count. He looks to be the starter for the 49ers this year as long as they can ramp up his thing. The other interesting news with the 49ers is that Nick Bosa is expected to he's not expected at practice. So he looks like he's holding out in contract negotiations, which is kind of big for their defensive side of the ball. Do you think it's Brock Purdy's team or is it Trey Lance? What?
Purdy. It's Brock Purdy's team.
All right, Brock Purdy. Cowboys signed a big deal for Trayvon Diggs, 5-year, $97 million extension. I love reading the stats about him. He leads the league in interceptions the last 2 years. However, he also leads the league in yards given up to receivers. So he is he reminds me a lot of Marcus Peters, who signed a deal with the Raiders, by the way.
Same type of thing, though. Same type of thing as far as 3-year span, how many interceptions. Marcus Peters, I believe he had 19.
Yeah, he had a ton.
And then, Diggs has 17, right? But it's boom or bust. Not bust, but, big gamblers.
It's not even boom or bust. Yeah, he gives up a lot of yards. He's not a lockdown corner. He's not your Revis type. He's just opportunistic and got good instincts for ball skills.
He jumps routes, and that's what burns him.
Yeah.
But when he's right, he gets a pick.
Yeah. The Commanders have sold their team. Who's the dude that bought it? So
Josh Harris.
Dan Snyder's out and Josh Harris is in. Did you hear? Is there any news about the team name? Are they changing it? Or are they keeping Commanders for now? I'm sure they're keeping it for now.
Yeah.
I bet you
part of the ownership group that said that they were contemplating. If somebody contemplating, it wasn't Josh Harris. It was somebody else.
I did like his comment though about him saying the first thing that they got to do is make sure to take care of the fans. There's you wouldn't bring you bring somebody to your house on a broken couch and messed up something else. So it's we got to make sure this is taken care of, which is true because I hear most people say they hate FedEx Stadium.
That stadium,
it's the worst.
Run down, dude. They had wasn't it last year that a railing broke and people?
Yeah, that was with Hurts. Yeah. Jalen Hurts almost got hurt. The players were coming down. Yeah,
but I thought the stadium was built in the early 2000s.
Well, Father Time has not been good to it.
Football stadiums is 20, 30 years, man. And it's time for a new one.
But I'm saying M&T Stadium's been up there forever.
Well, it's been there
you know how those 90s. Stands were when we were up there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Kenny was like, I gotta go,
man.
So we rocking.
That thing is crazy. So
I think this time next year, Ron Rivera is looking for a new job if he doesn't do something this year.
Did you think so?
I just think that they might want a clean slate. Next year, it's a perfect opportunity. If they have a bad season, perfect opportunity to get a new GM, new head coach, everything. Just
new head coach, new quarterback, new everything.
Get new everything. Yep. Hey, for Kenny, I'm going to talk about this real quick. Justin Herbert signs his contract extension, which is interesting because I'm pretty sure he's only on his like third season, right?
I think this is
Or just completed his third, which is
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
I mean, it's smart to do a contract extension like this because then you can phase out that cap hit as long as you're confident in
Yep.
players like this. So it was 5 years, $262.5 million. Burrow's not going to be far behind him,
yeah.
but that's a good deal for the Chargers.
Yeah, I think so. I think the only this is fourth year, but I think the only issue that we're going to have is this is kind of shaping up to be a boom or bust year for us, right? Like we got to go all the way or it's a wrap because a lot of guys are coming up for contracts, and when you have the money stretched out or that much money put out on the table, everybody's going to want to get their cut, right? Eckler's going to want to get his cut. Keenan Allen's going to want to get his check, right? So
Yeah.
it's shaping up to be pretty interesting. So hopefully,
I also think it's smart because if he has the season that we believe he has, Kenny, if he has a really good year, I think that it saves them money and if they're the first ones to get the deal done before that Burrow, that those people to come next.
Because Burrow's contract is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, if he continues on the trajectory he's at. Jacksonville's gonna pay it, and he's gonna have the argument to get it.
I think it depends on what he does this year. I think if he has a solid year like he did last year, he can warrant getting a big contract because you can say, "Listen, I improved every single year, and all I really need was a better coach, right? And I improve every year." So I think he gets that. I don't know if he gets that Joe Burrow, that top tier money. Because I think he's right outside on that. So I don't know. Like, granted, a lot of people say Justin Herbert shouldn't got that much money. Because it's like, what has he done? Even though he's playing in the same division as Patrick Mahomes, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
So
the Giants signed their left tackle Andrew Thomas, 5 years, 117 million and a half. 117 and a half.
That's where Saquon money went.
Yeah, they locked down him. I mean, he had a good year last year, so hopefully he's on his way up because they paid him like he's on his way up.
Yeah, he's a young guy too. This is only his third year, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They got him done early to kind of alleviate the cap hit. I mean, everyone's arguing about Saquon, but realistically, we paid our quarterback this year. We paid Dexter Lawrence, and then we paid our left tackle. Like, if we can get Saquon to next year, he might be cashing in a little bit more next year. It's just this year I think was a little too rough for it. No, you don't think so?
No, the running backs have to have an amazing year this year.
Oh, yeah, all of them do. Yeah.
They have to have an amazing year, multiple. It has to be like single point of failure. If they're not there, we would have struggled because if not, it doesn't matter. Don't let another Isaiah Pacheco. Of course, I want the guys to get the money. Don't let another like 7th rounder undrafted guy go off. It's not going to build good on the case. So
or even undrafted. Hey, Cole Kmet. I didn't know that he was that good, but apparently the Bears do. They signed him to a 4-year, $50 million extension. So they're taking a bet on him pretty soon. I didn't know that he hasn't blown me away. Yeah,
he's just had a good end of the year last year. So I think it's one of those things now with, the salary cap raising up, guys are just getting ridiculous contracts. And it's like, why? But, it's like you said, or like Brian said earlier with the NBA, it's not because they're that great of a player necessarily. It's just that's how the money is lining up. So it's like, hey, this is what it warranted, so I got to get that.
Rodgers restructured his deal. He signs a new 2-year deal, $75 million guaranteed. So that's like $37.5 million. So it's essentially a pay cut for Rodgers because I think he came over with like $50 million a year. Yeah. So he took a pay cut to play with the Jets. And what that tells you, more than likely you got 2 years with Rodgers. After that, if it's going poorly, he's cutting bait and leaving.
Yeah, but so like 2 years, $75 million deal. Bro, he's in his career, he's made $305 million. So realistically, it's like he's taking a pay cut, but
Yep.
He don't need it. He don't need it. It's like, all right. So
All right. Well, and the Panthers named Bryce Young their starting QB, which pretty early, but we all saw the writing on the wall.
yeah, you can go with Andy Dalton. Stop.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting time now that you're going to start seeing camp news. You're going to start seeing hype videos.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're going to see some crazy stuff. Like every year, you're going to see something about some wide receiver, 6th-round guy making some sick catches because everyone's great before the pads are on. So don't believe in all the hype. Sometimes believe in the hype when it comes to injuries. So like players like Javonte Williams, who is not on the PUP, but he is showing up to training camp. So I mean that's kind of big news considering the injury he was coming back from. And then
Breece
some
Hall.
of these Breece Hall, he is on the PUP though.
Yeah.
But there are going to be some question marks though, like someone like J.K. Dobbins who's potentially holding out. He's not at practice right now. Don't read too much into it, but yeah, he wants a new contract. He's been injured. He hasn't even been on the field.
Like what the hell you want a new contract for? You ain't did shit. This guy's is crazy.
All right.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Well,
like
since we're talking about running backs, we might as well get into the topic.
yeah, we might as well get into it, man. So to continue our fantasy series, last week we did the quarterbacks. This week we're going to get into the running backs. Top 10 running backs that you guys should be looking for your fantasy rosters as you get closer to your drafts. So let's get it started. Let's get mixy.
Kenny, I'm gonna need you to say who your stupid number one running back is before we even go down this lane, because I need to know, because it's gonna piss me off. Kenny, just for people that don't listen to us, Kenny, he is the pro. Obviously, you could tell based on our physical appearance. I'm not as big as Kenny. Brian, look at you're 4'11", like like
I'm stacked, bro.
Kenny played running back, so he can predict the future. He told us this time last year during this episode, Jonathan Taylor will be trash, and I think me and Brian both had him at Jonathan Taylor at the number one. Yep. And you know what? We will admit it. We were wrong. Kenny was right.
Because
let's see.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The fantasy has nothing to do with getting hurt, right? I'm saying when I say trash, I mean compared to where you draft them and the value you got out of him. That's what I mean by trash, right? People keep thinking when I say trash, like they're not going to be good at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying compared to where you draft them to the value you get, it's not going to match up. So in your mind, you're going to be mad. I know everybody gets those guys they draft and they're like, oh, he's supposed to be 20 points and he's only giving you 13, 14, maybe. And you're like, what the hell? He's supposed to be good. It's like, yeah, he ain't doing what he's supposed to do. So I'm going to go ahead and start it off, man. So for my number one pick, I have Ramondre Stevenson. I'll just play with y'all. I'll just play. I have Christian McCaffrey, man. It's a no-brainer to me.
Thank goodness.
I have a Christian McCaffrey. It's a no-brainer. I think him being on the 49ers is the best thing that happened to him, right? Being back in Cali, Stanford, if you see his numbers at Stanford, is crazy. I think they have a stable. Shanahan is a guru when it comes to the running game. It fits his scheme, his own runs, and he can, do a lot of outside zones. So I think it's perfect for him. I think they're going to get. If you saw how he performed towards the end of last year and he came in at the halfway, imagine when he gets a whole year of the playbook and he's so cerebral. Like imagine how he's going to line up. He's going to be everywhere.
Bro,
I know
the games that he played with San Francisco last year, he touched the ball almost 40% of their plays.
Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't need the ball. He doesn't.
Like,
he's so efficient.
But the thing, he like that. It's an efficiency. He touched the ball 40% of the plays, but when you watch it, you're like, damn, he only got like 13 carries.
Yeah,
but he got 13 carries, 8 catches. You're like, damn. You know what I mean? So
Kenny, we finally could be on the same page. Let's all hold hands and walk across the finish line.
I'm not
because
holding hands.
With that being said, I might draft him though.
If you're in 101,
yeah, I get bad luck when I draft Mr. McCaffrey. He gets hurt, so I'm just gonna let him be.
All right, fine. But Christian McCaffrey is the number one running back. There's no doubt about it. he won't even need. He'll need like 215, 230 carries this season, and still be the number one running back. Yeah, and Elijah Mitchell, if you he's still going to be a factor. He's going to get the ball. He's going to be your workhorse guy.
I think he might have like a Alvin Kamara year, like when he had like 70 catches, like up in that range. I think he's going to catch the ball a lot.
Dude, I mean, he played in 11 games last year. He caught 52 balls.
Yeah.
I think he has seasons. His highest in Carolina was 116.
Yeah, I didn't want to put that out there because I didn't want to be like
Brock Purdy back there.
Yep.
If Brock Purdy plays the whole year, do every day. All right. Wow, we all agree. Brian, who's yours?
It was CMC, bro.
Okay, yeah.
I have the number one pick in the draft. I'm taking CMC. It's not a secret.
Cool. Yeah. I picked number 2 right behind him.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways.
You got the number one pick in what draft?
In another league.
Another league.
I thought you were talking about ours. I said, damn, what happened at?
No.
I'll give my number 2 just because I love this individual. But my number 2 running back is Nick Chubb. I mean, every year I beat the drum for him, but this year I think he's going to get a little bit more involved in the passing game, which if we're all doing I do my scoring on PPR, and I think he's going to be a beast this year. And I just love him. And I mean, I just want it to happen. So I'm going to will it into existence.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mind the pick, Ryan, but my number 2, I'm staying chalk only because it's Austin Eckler. I love Austin Eckler. And that offense is ridiculous. I don't care if they have so many mouths to feed. That guy gets the ball, and he's just ridiculous. He's a great runner, and yeah, he's number 2. And he finished number 1 last year in PPR.
Yeah.
For fantasy.
The fact that they have so many mouths to feed is what makes it better for Austin Eckler because he's not going to get overused. Right. And then they're going and Kellen Moore is going to gadget it up to where he gets select touches, right? Like Austin Eckler is what Tony Pollard wants to be, right? Like he's way more elusive. He's better. He's going to get his touches, man. So like I have Austin Eckler as number 2. I think they're going to run him into the dirt and try to get as much as they can out of him because they don't know if they're going to have him next year. So I think it's going to be his way to showcase, but that's kind of going to be his exit out the door. But I have him at number 2.
So the reason why I'm weary on Austin Eckler is because we talked about Herbert last year, how he was injured. So he couldn't stretch the ball down the field as well as he wants to. So he was doing a ton of checkdowns. I mean, Eckler had 127 targets last year, 107 catches. Not to say that he doesn't get a ton of catches like that, but like in previous years, he had 70, 54. He was injured, 92. So like I just don't think he's going to break that 100 catch mark again, because Herbert was so injured that he was like checking the ball down a little bit. He's never broken 1,000 yards rushing. I can see him doing well. That's the only reason why I'm weary on Austin.
So you say that, right? But at the same time, he wasn't hurt the whole year, right? It's like 4 or 5 games he had, but for the majority of the time, he was checking the ball to him. But you had that last year, but you have a better offensive coordinator this year. And even to that point that you said, right, the year in 2021, he had 70 catches, right, on 94 targets compared to 107 and 127, right? But he had 8 touchdowns compared to 5 receiving. So when we're talking about PPR, those points, depending on what week it is, they're going to add up, right? So I get it. You say 30 points there in as far as targets, but then you got 3 touchdowns there. You do the math on that. Kind of, it's not as bad as you think.
It's only a 12-point difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can be high on Eckler all you want. I don't see it. I don't have him that high.
Yeah, I have Nick Chubb at number 3. So.
Okay.
Oh, I got Saquon at number 3. Yeah. Saquon's back.
Yeah.
He's trying to get a bigger deal. Yeah. My 4 and 5 are 4A and 4B. I like this player so much that I'm going to put him there, and because I want to piss Kenny off. But I got Bijan Robinson at number 4.
Trash.
Yeah.
It's not trash. Look, what is
How do you-
who was the quarterback to the Atlanta Falcons last year?
Bro, we don't care. We don't care about Marcus Mariota. We don't care about Desmond Ridder. We don't care about that.
Okay, yeah, exactly. No one does. So they knew that the Falcons were going to sit there and run the ball last year. And guess what? They were the third best rushing team in the league. They ran the ball 4.9 yards a carry. You knew the Falcons were going to run the ball, and they ran it down people's throats.
Cool.
They have a great offensive line. Bijan Robinson is gonna BYU had 4.9 yards a carry and over 1,000 yards.
But that scheme was good for Algier or whatever how you say his last name, right? And with that being said, it wasn't like he was the only guy that was running. It was multiple guys running, and I will say
exactly. He still had 1,000 yards.
Nobody cared about them running the ball because they know they couldn't. Like, they can't beat us. Go ahead and run the ball. You're gonna run the timeout because on defense y'all not gonna stop us. So like, okay, run the ball. That's what you want to do, right? And the thing that people don't understand or don't realize is that yes, a guy might be good in college, but that doesn't necessarily transfer over to the NFL. That doesn't mean anything because it got killed in college. You don't know if he's having the Trent Richardson effect where you can't see the hole. You don't know that. You don't know what's going on. You're assuming that he played in college, he killed. That means he's going to come to the NFL and do the same exact thing. That's not true. You don't know yet. It's one of those things. Go ahead.
Besides Trent Richardson, what's the last running back that was taken that was like a huge bust that was taken that high in a draft? Like that's pretty high up there. But Saquon was a sure thing, and. Yeah, I mean, he's proven that he's been there.
Saquon had a quarterback when he got there, but it's cool. So it's a little
and he doesn't have one now, and he was good last year.
Is Daniel Jones not good at all? Are you saying that Daniel Jones and Desmond Ridder are the same people? Daniel Jones and Marcus Mariota the same people? I'm just asking the question. Is Daniel Jones and Marcus Mariota the same guy?
No.
Are they the same guy?
No.
Is Desmond Ridder the same guy? Is he the same guy?
Bijan is going to be good. I don't understand what you don't get.
Bijan is not even on my list on top 10.
Yeah,
he's not even on my list.
You could be wrong all you want.
I'm not going to be. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. He's going to be the guy on the list of all the people. Right? You know, I troll and stuff, all that being funny. But seriously, he's going to be the guy on the list that everybody's so high up on, and it's not going to produce.
All right.
He's not.
Where's he falling? Outside of the top 12? That's an RB2.
He's not a first round pick for me.
I'm just saying he's not
outside. Is he an RB2? Meaning he's out. He's between. He's 13 to 24.
I think it depends because you drafted him first, right? And he's going to get touches, but you can't tell me that Algier he doesn't deserve any touches. He had a good year last year, and he said, you're the relevant piece. You're not getting anything.
Patterson's still there.
Patterson's not going to get any touches.
I don't care. When I've invested in a running back in the first round of my draft, knowing what the running back market is now, I'm going to run this fool to the ground. I didn't invest shit in fucking Algier.
Okay.
I didn't invest nothing but a 6th, 7th round pick or some shit.
Okay.
I am not. They are not worried about that.
But you know what you're getting. You know what you're gonna get because you seen it last year. You're hoping that Bijan, Algier. Thank you, Simon. So you know what you're getting. You don't know what you're getting in Bijan. You assume that you're gonna get a star.
I think if you draft someone with a top 5 pick or top 10, you know what you're getting.
Okay.
You better damn sure hope
because people don't miss at all.
He is going to be
okay.
All right, fine. I'm willing to bet whatever you want.
All right,
he's going to be a top 12 running back.
You tell me what you want to bet. You tell me what you want to bet. Because
steak dinner.
Okay, steak dinner. Too easy.
Too easy.
So who do you have at number 4? Brian?
Me? Oh, I got Derrick Henry.
Of course. It's a no-brainer. I don't know what Ryan bumped his head on because when did Bijan Robinson be better than Derrick Henry? Are we fucking serious? Is Derrick Henry still not there? What are we talking about?
I don't understand how the running backs are getting overhyped like that. The rookies, I don't get it.
You,
they haven't done anything yet.
Have you been
willing to spend? They're willing to spend a first-round pick on this guy. Like, it's insane to me. Like,
Yeah, you're
if
going to be
you
left holding the
miss-
bag.
if you miss on your first-round pick, you have zero chance of winning a championship.
You're just as likely to miss on CMC for him getting injured. Like, it's
You say that, but guess what? You're just as like, look, the possibility, yes, is there, but the probability is not likely.
the
The
probability is not there for Bijan.
What? Exactly. You're right. It's not there. The probability of him being good is not there.
Oh, of him being bad is what I was saying.
No. The probability of him being bad is very high. Compared to CMC,
At least with CMC, you know
Oh,
what you're
compared to
getting.
CMC, that's different. I
Even
have
compared to Derrick
CMC as
Henry.
my number one.
compared to Derrick Henry, you're tripping.
I still think Derrick Henry is going to be good. Derrick Henry's right at my 5. Like,
I got Najee Harris as number 5, and I can explain that. But I got Najee Harris number 5.
Go ahead and explain that for me, please. Because Pittsburgh has one of the worst
no.
offensive lines in the
No,
league.
stop what you're saying, Brian. That's a lie.
No, it's not.
I mean, they did last year. They spent the worst money on running backs. They got 2 guards in free agency, and they drafted a tackle. They addressed the offensive line.
And I
who's
think
the tackle they drafted?
I don't fucking Broderick, I think. I just made that fucking name up.
Broderick
this is the
Jones.
thing.
Yeah.
People
Yeah, I think-
are like, I see what Simon said in the chat. Najee is trash. Bro had a foot injury last year.
I don't think that Najee's trash. I'm just saying I don't think that the offensive line is very good.
Okay.
And I don't
So-
care if you go and get guards in the free agency. Like, who cares? You can put anybody at guard. What's important is center and tackle.
It depends on the scheme that you're running.
Najee still had 1,000 yards rushing
Yeah,
last
that's what I'm
year
saying.
and 7 touchdowns on that trash offensive line. They put new players in there. That's just going to get better.
That's
Like,
what I'm
I-
saying.
and
And
Kenny
Kenny Pickett is going to
Pickett's
take a step this year.
Yep,
That's
and
my-
he's gonna
that's my
check the
piece.
ball down.
That's my piece. He's going to get his targets back up. So if he gets his targets back up and he's break halfway between 21 and 22, 2021, 2022, you're good. With your 5th pick, you're like, oh, I ate on that. That's a good one. I ate on that. That's my logic behind that.
All right.
They have weapons on the outside. That tight end is good. And now you shore up your line a little bit. It doesn't have to be the best line in the world, but as long as they're cohesive and they're blocking, right? He's able to read those double teams. It's money.
I mean, Najee Harris last year with that piss poor offensive line was running back 12. Running back 12 with that line. And with a
Significantly
foot injury.
different than number 5.
With a foot injury and a terrible offensive line. The offensive line has been addressed in some capacity, whether it's to your standards or not, and it's players in another year of the system, and Najee without a foot injury.
And look at him the year before.
Well, that one is a caveat because Big Ben, he literally had 74 catches on the ground, like out of the backfield.
And-
Big
and
Ben
you-
could not throw the ball.
And you
past the line
think
of scrimmage.
you think that Kenny Pickett is not going to check down either? You think he's just going to gunsling?
He is more of a gunslinger.
I didn't say he's not a
take his-
gunslinger. I said you
yeah.
think he's not going to check down though.
I think he will. I mean, Najee had 40 catches last year out of the backfield. So, like, I think we're going to get another 40 catches at least out of the backfield for Najee, which is good. I just think he's going to fall in the end zone more because
I
this
think
team's
he's
going
high
to score
50s,
more
low
points.
60s. Yeah, and more.
This
touchdowns.
team's
I
going
think-
to score more points.
Yep.
I mean, I have Najee's my number 9. So, like, I mean, he's down on my list, but he's still there.
You're sitting here fighting with me, and you have him at number 9.
Well, because
What are you
I still
arguing about?
still have Eckler. I still have Eckler.
Oh my god.
I still have Eckler up there.
So what do you-
Pickett's over him?
What do you have at 5?
Number 5, I got Jonathan Taylor. It's a bounce back year for him.
No,
Nope.
Yep.
I don't think so either.
He's
I'm
going to
like,
be heavily
I'm-
relied on.
that's the problem. He's
That's
going to be
not a
heavy.
problem for him. He's a workhorse, Kenny.
So I'm so off on Jonathan Taylor.
I am too.
Good luck.
I have Jonathan Taylor at number 7 for that exact reason because they're going to rely on him so much. They rely on him so much in the beginning of the year is he's going to look awesome. Beginning of the year, he's going to get touches. Everybody's like, "Oh my god!" But what you're not realizing is that Richardson has to take that step because if Richardson cannot throw the ball, they're going to literally put 9 people in the box and say, "Richardson, throw the ball."
You're right. I mean, but they're probably going to run a little, read option, which always helps the run game.
Oh, the read option.
Oh, it does, Kenny. I mean,
okay.
I mean, Najee is on the pup list.
Yeah. All right.
To start
when you have to account for the quarterback. Look at what the Giants did last year because they had to account for the quarterback. Their rushing yards were insane.
Like the rushing yards were insane.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So both because of Daniel Jones' ability to run, which I think Richardson can do, that helped open things up for Saquon. Even though Saquon is great, but it still helped him.
Yeah, but the years that Saquon wasn't, he was great because he was catching the ball out of the backfield. I don't think that Richardson's throwing the ball out the backfield like that. And when you get to the red zone, Richardson is going to be like what
Josh
he was. Yeah, he's going to be a running back. He's going to be
run it in
the guy. He's going to be the guy taking it to the end zone, which is going to hurt his opportunities for touchdowns. Because the year he was number 1 overall, he had 18 touchdowns on the ground.
Justin Fields for last year.
How many of those were within the 5 yard? Within 5 yards. Jonathan Taylor's he was breaking big runs.
But he's not going to be breaking big runs like that this year.
Why not? His ankles all right.
I'm telling you, they're going to overload the box so bad that they're going to force Richardson to either take the step or he's going to get benched. That's how bad they're going to make it. It was like, no, Jonathan Taylor, you're not running the ball. We're going to force Richardson to throw the ball.
Here, I'll go ahead and let Kenny shit on me. So my number 5 was Derrick Henry, but my number 6 is Kenny's joke is Ramondre Stevenson. There's just I don't know. I just like him. I like him this year. There's literally no competition. Unless Leonard Fournette signs, then maybe that'll vulture some of the touchdowns. But Ramondre is a great runner, and I like him this year.
Listen, he's a good runner, but he's not going to be catching it out of the backfield a lot. You got to remember, Ty Montgomery, your favorite running back, is coming back, and they intend for him to be the James White role. So,
I don't need him to catch the ball. I do not need him to catch the ball. He was splitting time last year. He was still a 1,000-yard rusher, 5 yards a carry. He's a good runner.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, when you split the ball, when you split carries, right? There's, I would say, there's very few people that go from splitting carries and go and say, "Oh, I'm getting the work role next year, and I'm eating." Yeah. Like if they don't come into that role and fit those shoes, it takes them a time to get adjusted. And I think that's what you're going to have with Stevenson. I think it takes him the time to get adjusted. I think he still has a productive year, but I don't think he's going to kill like that. So
I disagree. I have him so high. I don't even need him to catch the ball a ton out of the backfield. I mean, he can get like 20 catches, not even. Like I don't even care. I think that I'm not a big fan of your guys' receivers or Mac Jones. So I think that when you get down to the 10-yard line or the red zone, I think a lot of it's going to be run plays to Stevenson more than it's going to be like Mac Jones trying to throw it into the end zone.
But how long does that last?
All season.
No, it does not. You got to. Do you guys realize that defensive coordinators get paid too?
Yeah.
Like their jobs on the line too. They don't stop people.
Okay. You act like other teams don't expect teams to run and then they still run. I mean,
I understand that, but
you can run against a loaded box.
But the thing is this: you're going to try to force their hand to do things that make them uncomfortable. So if you know they like to run like that, I'm not saying they're not going to still choose run plays, but you're going to say, I'm going to make it so favorable to pass the ball that we're going to live with that. We'll live with Mac Jones beating us. We're not going to live with your strengths. We're not going to live with Ramondre Stevenson killing us for 180, 200 yards. We're not going to live with that. I mean, not saying it can't happen, but I'm saying we're not living with that.
Every team, every player that we've talked about in the top 5 to 6 is the strength of their team. So, I mean, if you by your math, none of these players are going to be good because we're just going to take them away.
No, what I'm saying is that you have to have a quarterback threat or another threat to take some of the eyes off of you. So the last two guys, I was saying, like when I said the Falcons, when I'm talking about Jonathan Taylor, Ramondre Stevenson, all the eyes are going to be on them. Who else do they have? Those teams have to. People on those teams have to worry about. Who else?
So when I
Devontae
say Mac
Parker?
Jones, when I say Mac Jones is
Juju
trash,
Smith?
those players are threats to run the ball. Mac Jones is still a threat to throw the ball. He's not a threat to run the ball. So I think that they still have to respect him throwing the ball, but I think the trust is going to go to Stevenson to run the ball.
There's nobody in the league saying Mac Jones can't throw.
Yeah, I just don't think he's very good at it.
You say what I'm going to take away from the Patriots, you're not going to say I'm going to take away the passing game. You're going to be like, nah, I'm going to take away the running game because I know that's where it starts at. That's what I'm saying. More eyes are going to be on the running game. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think initially it's going to be on the running game, and then Bill's going to exploit it a little bit and get a couple of those dink passes, and then they're going to start phasing it out, and then Stevenson's going to eat.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's a player I like.
Okay.
Now, just because I'm listing this person as the 6th doesn't mean I'm taking them with the 6th pick of the draft.
Right.
Because you also have to remember there's receivers in the mix. I'm really high on a lot of receivers this year, more than I am on certain running backs. Yeah. I like some of the deeper running backs.
Yeah, I got Barkley at 6, so I'm not even going to touch on that because we already hit that. So, who do you have at 7?
Well, number 6 I have is Chubb.
Oh yeah, Chubb.
Yeah, we don't have to. I mean,
I like Nick Chubb a lot this year. Not quite as much as Ryan, but
I've got a Chubb for Chubb.
Bro, okay. I think that Deshaun Watson's gonna have a bounce back year, so it's gonna help take pressure off Chubb, and Chubb isn't giving up snaps to Kareem Hunt anymore.
That's valid.
So he's gonna have more opportunity if he, we'll see what he does with it.
That's valid.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be so good. I mean, last year he's leaving running. He's leaving with them. He was the number 5 running back. And that's without any passing work. Like, he's getting passing work this year. So I love Chubb. Hey, 7, I have Eckler. We won't talk about that because you guys have Eckler higher.
I got Jonathan Taylor at 7.
All that talk, you made it seem like you had Jonathan Taylor off the list.
No, I didn't say that. I told you who I had off the list.
So 8, I have Josh Jacobs, but that's him showing up to camp. That's him showing up. I think he might hold out, which would push these guys up, which would then make Najee my number 8.
Yeah, I had Kenneth Walker at 3rd, but that's only because I like his running style. He's in Seattle. I know they're going to depend on him to run the ball, so I like him.
Are you nervous about Charbonnet?
Not really. I know that they have performed well with like a 2-back guy system. I think he's going to get touches, and I'm not necessarily high on a guy that's getting all the carries because they get burnt out easy. And with a long season, how it is, I'd rather him be consistent throughout the year. And give me, 16, 17 points, and I'm cool with that, right? I don't need him to necessarily have the 20 points all the time. I just want him to be healthy throughout the year. Yeah. And I think at 8, I think you'll get that from him. And I think he'll improve on last year. Yeah.
Hey, you get a good value for him now because his ADP is pretty low.
Yep.
Brian, who do you got there? 7, 8, 9. What did we say for you?
7 I have Najee. 8 I have Joe Mixon. I think he's gonna have a good year this year.
I really hope so. But the one of the things I will say about Joe Mixon is I have him on fantasy, so like I want what you're saying to be true. However, he is one of the more inefficient runners. Like last year, he had a decent season. That he had one game where he had 5 touchdowns. That was like a quarter of his points for the year. Like he just is so inefficient. When P. Ryan came in and was running the ball, he was like way better than any of the games that Mixon had. It's a nightmare to watch him. He knows that he's on his way down because he took a pay cut. He's playing. He's literally promised them 2 years, but they can cut him next year with like a dead cap of like $1 million.
Which is more reason for him to step up.
Yeah, week in and week out on fantasy, he doesn't give you like relief. When you see his name, you're like, "Fuck, man! I hope he had a good week this week," because he's so inconsistent.
But the good thing is that if the Bengals perform well offensively and they're up, they are the type of team that lets off the gas and will run the ball a lot.
That's true.
So he should get opportunity.
Yeah.
And they score a lot of points, so touchdown opportunities there too.
What do you think, Ryan? Who you have? At 9?
So at 9, I had Najee. So I'm just going to give my 10 real quick because my 10 spot is interchangeable. However, because it all depends on certain news. Like I like players like Breece Hall. Aaron Jones, I think, is still going to be good. But when I'm picking at that 10 spot, or if I'm picking later in the draft and I know that I'm getting like the 10th running back off the board, I'm trying to take a shot at someone that's going to be like a home run hitter that maybe only touches the ball 10, 15 times a game, but they're a liability to take it like 98 yards. And I put Jahmyr Gibbs in at number 10 for me. He reminds you of a faster Alvin Kamara.
Okay.
Yeah, I have Travis Etienne at 9. So I like Etienne, man. I've always liked him. I think everybody has what's his name?
Tank Bigsby.
Tank Bigsby, and as if he's going to come over and just take over, Etienne's spot. Well, I don't think that's the case. I think if anything, that's even a better 1-2 tandem. I think Etienne is going to be like a Swiss Army knife. They're going to let him run through outside zone and stuff like that, get a lot of pass catches. And I think dispel him. I think he'll get his 20 carries. I think Bigsby be a good little handcuff for sure. But I think he'll have a great year. So
yeah, I don't mind it. I'm not quite as high on Etienne, but I still have him as an RB1, but maybe like 11 or 12. My number 9 is going to be Ramondre Stevenson. I do like him a lot this year, but like Ryan was saying, but like the problem with him is PPR wise, I don't see a lot of value there, and he's going to be touchdown reliant. But I do like him. And then number 10, I like Kenneth Walker. The dude, when he was healthy last year, was really good, like one of the top backs. So if he can stay healthy, I think he has a shot of moving up this list for next year.
So what about Miles Sanders?
No,
that team's just too bad.
Yeah,
I don't know. I like him a lot.
I had Stevenson at 10, for your reason, Brian. But Seattle O-line can be really good this year too. Yeah, that's a valid point. Breece Hall, like you said, is a question mark because I think if he's in there, he jumps up a little bit on my list because I had him at 8. But I said barring knee, if the knee is healthy. Josh Jacobs doesn't make my list at all. I think the reason why he's holding out because he knows he was one and done. Right? I don't think he's going to come back and produce the same way he did last year. Tony Pollard doesn't make my list. Joe Mixon didn't make my list. And Bijan Robinson, complete bust. He didn't make my list either. So
I'll tell you a guy that I like who is going at RB2 right now, but he could be an RB1 is Swift. I think that he low-key could be a good running back this year fantasy-wise. Yeah. I know they like to share the ball a lot, but I think he could take over that backfield. I think that's a valid point. It is crowded back there, but I think out of all the backs they have, he's the most versatile, right? Yeah. And him being home, being in Philly, hopefully he's not distracted by the outside noise. But if he can just play ball, I think that's a sleeper. I think he's a better overall talent than Miles Sanders. And look at what Miles Sanders did last year. Easily.
You know what I mean?
Question. Like, so that's where I see him. Is like, you want to draft him second or third round, where the RB2s are going, but he could be first round value.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a good little sleeper.
I don't know why I prefer to wait a little bit and take Rashad Penny in that offense. I think they're both going to get injured, so it doesn't matter. But like both these guys can't stay healthy. But I think that Rashad Penny's the guy in that backfield.
Yeah,
I don't know. Sometimes when you go to a good team, though, you suddenly can stay healthy a little easier.
Yeah.
It apparently didn't work for Kadarius Toney. So
I like David Montgomery. I like David Montgomery.
That's
Like
a
I think
sneaky-
that's a guy that's a sneaky pick that people are not even giving credit because they just think that Gibbs is just going to steal the show, which I think is opposite. I think Gibbs is going to be doing a lot, and David Montgomery is going to get a lot of touches.
I think that this is like lightning and thunder. Like they could be.
Yeah.
Remember the first years when Alvin Kamara came in the league and it was Kamara and Mark Ingram.
Yeah,
that's what this is to me, because David Montgomery is a better runner than Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams is garbage, and he had like fucking 12, 15 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
And David Montgomery is a better running back than Jamal Williams. So he's gonna get the touchdowns. Jameer Gibbs is just gonna get those 80-yard screen bubble passes.
Yeah, he might take some big plays at the house, right?
Yep.
So
the worst part is the feeling of Jameer Gibbs breaking 180 yards, getting tackled at the 1 yard line, and old David Montgomery coming. Yeah. Let me get this for you.
Yeah.
This time of year, all the hype gets put up. We talked about some hype players like Bijan Robinson. Don't forget about the players that are being mistaken for, like Aaron Jones. He's still a threat in Green Bay. He's still a good running back. He's the only one that they really got on their team. So he's being forgot of. He's being drafted super late in drafts. He's being drafted in the 4th round. That's a chance of getting a potential RB1 in the 4th round. Players like James Conner, they might have to rely on the run game a little bit more if Kyler takes a little bit longer to get into the mix. And we're obviously Rashad White. I mean, he got a lot of the carries over in Tampa last year, so we'll see.
Ooh, I got a deep sleeper. Late pick. You're going to draft him for depth on your fantasy teams, but he could turn into a good player, as Damian Harris for Buffalo. They have not had a running back since Josh Allen has been there. He could be that running back because he can handle the workload. He's shown that he can do that. And, what do you have, back-to-back 1,000 yards seasons? He's no slouch. So, and with that offense being so explosive, he's going to have touchdown opportunity written all over him.
Yeah.
They both had 1,000 yards last year?
Well, I think no, it was the prior 2 years. He got hurt last year, Damian Harris.
Yeah, he got hurt last year, but he's a quality runner, man. So,
yeah.
Oh yeah, he did get hurt.
Other than last year, he
never had 1,000 yards, by the way.
No.
929.
Oh my god. Anyways,
damn, just take the air out the sale.
I don't care. He's still a good pick. I like him late in drafts.
Who else?
And then if you can figure out which running back Miami is going to use, could be a good little sleeper pick. But
Devon A-Chain?
It's a roll of the dice, though. Who do you pick?
I don't know.
Most could be any of those guys.
Jeff Wilson.
You don't touch
Devon A-Chain. A-Chain's a small guy. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a guy.
I think he's 185.
I mean, he's fast as hell. Big.
He's fast, yeah. Which they love that speed.
Yeah. That's all my
Cam Akers, if he doesn't sleep with McVay's wife or whatever he did last year to fucking almost get him.
Slept with McVay's wife?
No. But dude, he must have did some shit because he
in the doghouse.
He was in the doghouse. They were benching him. He was inactive.
They had a falling out. He said
came
something.
To
he said
November.
Something. Yeah, said something.
Yeah, he definitely said something.
Yeah.
James Cook could be good. I mean, all right, I'm done.
But too easy, man.
One more. I promise. Alvin Kamara, he's getting suspended for sure this year. But supposedly, since his legal stuff is done, they're saying at most it's maybe a 6-game suspension. But he's being drafted super late in rounds.
Why is he getting suspended though? I don't understand that.
I know. I hate how the legal system takes place. They get punished or something gets handled through the legal process, but then the NFL's and now you get suspended.
But the legal system, all he did is they handed it outside. I thought.
They did. They did.
So
it's
what
gone.
are we talking
about? That's what I'm saying. It's because his name was in the news. The league. It's how do they say it? Conduct detrimental to the league.
I guess
being a dickhead is essentially what he. he got in trouble for. So he'll get suspended. Hopefully it's like a 1-2 game suspension. But if you're drafting this early and you're taking a 6th-round pick for Alvin Kamara, and then it comes out he only gets like a 1-game suspension, you got a pretty good running back for later in the year, because Derek Carr will check the ball down, unlike fucking a la any quarterback that they had last year.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, that's too easy, guys. We know we went a little on time. We hope you guys appreciate the analysis for the running backs. It should be an interesting year this year, man. I don't know, regardless of your strategy. I'm not a big running back drafting guy. I know Brian is big on drafting running backs, things like that. So, depending on whatever your strategy is, here's the guys that we think. Besides Bijan Robinson, don't touch him. He's fucking hot garbage. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week. I think we got wide receivers next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how positions go, right?
Yeah, we got wide receiver next week, so that should be interesting as well. So, like always, like, subscribe, follow us, share with your friends. We'll appreciate the support. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Later.
Peace.